Welcome to Exceptional Talk with Dr. Clark. Today I have a special guest. Her name is Sharon Wright. And I don't want to do the introduction. I want her to do the introduction. So, guys, if you all would please join me in welcoming Mrs. Sharon Wright. Hold on. Oh, is it Miss or Mrs.?
Just Miss.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yes.
come on and tell us a little bit about you, and we're going to go ahead on into our questions.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, Dr. Clark, I want to say thank you for considering me and giving me this opportunity. It is a pleasure and a joy to be here with you on this podcast. And so, for those who don't know, my name is Sharon Wright, and I am the blessed owner of Homemade Creations, where I specialize in personalized handcraft greeting cards. So that's who I am. And so I'm excited, to talk about my business a little bit more and some other projects that I'm working on.
All right, great. So now that you've introduced yourself, which just let everybody know how phenomenal you are, uh, she's also, guys, one of my best friends. We met at school, at work, and we have just connected. And
Yes.
I want nothing but the best for her. When I tell you she has some awesome ideas, you just sit back and just take it all in. All right. So just tell us a little bit about your products.
All right. Well, like I said, I have handcraft greeting cards. So I think it's better to kind of give you the reason why I chose greeting cards.
Okay.
And so and this is also to serve as an encouragement for anyone who has an idea but might feel like the world is saturated with certain products. Because if you think about it, you can go to the dollar, I call it the Dollar Tree Plus, right? And get you a card. You
Yes.
can go to Kroger's, you can
Yes.
go to TJ Maxx now to get a card.
Yes.
But what makes my business unique is that it's not about the card, it's about the heart. So my cards are handcrafted by me in love, but it gives customers an opportunity to have their cards say what they really need them to say. Because when you think about when you go to get a card, the outside attracts you, right? So you grab it, you say, oh, this is a pretty card. But what is the next thing we're doing?
Right.
We're opening them up to read them because we want to make sure that what's inside aligns up with our feelings and emotions. And a lot of times that's difficult because not to say that the words that are written are not well written and beautifully written, but it doesn't align with what you feel and what you want it to say. And so that's what inspired me to say, okay, you know what? I'm about to make my own cards.
Right.
And
Right.
I actually started doing that some years ago, but of course I wasn't doing it, for any kind of money. It's just when I wanted to have cards, I started making my own so they could say what I want. But back in by 2004, 2005 is when my business originally started before it had to stop. And so, I just started from there. And in this way, people really can have a card that says exactly what they needed to say. So that's what makes my business unique. And so what happens is, as a result, when my customers give their cards, it creates this memorable moment. Because once they open it up, they can tell, oh, this ain't your everyday card. This is not a
Mhm.
card you just got
Not
somewhere.
the average card you can pick up anywhere.
Right. You're right. Exactly. It's definitely a one of a kind.
And that's important because a lot of times we want to say things, but we don't know how to say it. And when
Mm-hmm.
you find the words are actually there, and you now can say, oh my goodness, this is what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to say it. Or now you have someone that has the same type of thoughts. And this is great. I love it. So, what is your intentions for your product? I think you kind of hit on some of that because you talked about how you wanted to come up with something that was totally different. Because
Mm-hmm.
you're right, there are cars everywhere. You got Hallmark, one of the greater brands, but they
Mm-hmm.
just don't know that you're about to soar. You're going to be all over the place because of the
Yeah.
fact not only do you have cars, there are some other things that you've also done along with that. Can you talk a little bit about your inspirational journal?
Um, Talk about my what now? My inspiration,
Inspirational journal.
my journals as
Your
well.
journal, yes.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay. So yeah, I have a new collection that I've been sitting on and finally start birthing it. So I'm creating a journal series. And so I have three journals that are out now, and they're on Amazon. And so two of them are guided journals, and then one of them is just a free write journal. It's not necessarily guided, but it has quotes and it has affirmations on each page. And my prayer is that it just inspires you, just to write down your dreams, your thoughts inside of that. So that's called Inspire Her. So
Okay.
that's what that one is.
Okay.
And then I'll be showing some of my products too on here, but I guess I'll show this real quick. So
Yes,
that's
please.
what it looks
Okay.
like, and it's on Amazon. I found another vendor that I'm going to connect with because I also want to get some options. Now you have some kinds with the little things in them, so I want to be able to have like
You
different
can flip it
formats
back and
for
forth. Yeah,
them. Mm-hmm.
that's
Um,
nice.
my other one is called Tag Time Alone with
Time
God.
alone with God. All
Yeah.
right.
So this one is for those who choose to believe, and it's to serve as a guide to help individuals just sit still with God's word.
Okay.
And so people usually ask me when I explain this to them, they usually ask me, they say, well, do you give us scriptures? Well, there's scriptures and prayers throughout the journal. However, I feel like your journey still needs to be your own. So I don't provide like your scripture to study for the day. But
Right.
if you read my intro, I tell you my approach, what
Got
resources I use to study the word. Because it's up to you. But
yeah.
I use apps because they provide, some type of scriptures and little lessons and stuff. And so what it is it has questions. So each day you'll put down a scripture that you're reading and studying that day. And then I just have some guided questions. So what it does, it allows you to not rush through. It
Right.
allows you to self-reflect, like, what did I read? What is my takeaway and stuff like that. And then I'm big on gratitude. And so in the end, I ask you to write a gratitude statement. So it's like a 30-day challenge. And
Okay.
if you do it consistently every day, then my prayer
Mm-hmm.
is that when it's over, you will have a new found relationship with God. You'll be closer and you'll realize the importance of spending that quality time with Him. And I always tell people, I call it a jump start. So you don't have to go buy a new journal after
Right.
that.
Right.
Now you just know for yourself,
Mhm.
what you're gonna do. So that's what this one is about. So
And
and
I
it's
really
that
like
kind
that
of color
because of the
too.
fact that you can always go back and read how your journey has
Evolve.
folded, to
Yes.
where you were then, and now you have evolved to a whole nother level, and
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. But there's so much good stuff, so let's go keep going.
Oh, and then my other one is my gratitude journal. I don't know if y'all can see it pretty good.
Yep,
So my gratitude journal. And so this one is actually a 60-day challenge. So the first 30 days, I challenge you to write down three things you're grateful for every day,
oh wow, I
but you
love that.
cannot repeat.
I love that.
So if I said I was grateful for my son, meaning my
Mm-hmm.
birth son, in the
Mm-hmm.
sun, because I
Uh-huh.
do love the
Right,
sun.
right.
And like I say my job. Okay, well, tomorrow I can't repeat that. I can't
Yeah.
say my son, the
Okay.
son, and the job. Now, of course, you could always be grateful for everything every day. But
Yeah.
with this challenge, I'm forcing you, or not forcing you, but encouraging you to think of new things in life. So it allows you to be in the presence, right? To focus on what can I be grateful for today that I wasn't grateful for yesterday or that was already, you know what I'm saying? And like I tell people, even when you're working in a journal, life is gonna be lifing.
Yes.
So when things happen, that's a challenge that day. Like today was a rough day. Everything you think of can go wrong. But if you're working in this book, you need to say to yourself, okay, despite this, what can I
Right. What
still
has happened
be
today?
grateful
I
for?
am thankful to have a job.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
you know,
What can I still be grateful for today? And I don't
right.
want to repeat. So what can I still be grateful for? So even when things happen and we get upset, but if it's something that could be resolved, that's something you can be thankful for today. You
Absolutely.
know, maybe you was in traffic, but when you got up there, you turned out it was an accident. Well, thank God that wasn't me
Wasn't
because that
you?
been me.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
delays sometimes are for protection. You know what I'm saying?
I
So that's what
love it.
it's
I
set up.
love it. And
And it,
one thing about it that I can say, when you talk about being grateful, a lot of times we allow life to happen and we forget to thank God for all the good things that has happened or for the things that you actually have, and stop worrying about the things that you don't have and be grateful for what you have. And now
mm-hmm,
that is an opportunity for you to every day say how grateful you are for something, and it can grow and it can go further and further than you ever even imagined, to say,
mm-hmm,
okay, today I'm thankful for my children, all the things that you can just start today with, just tomorrow. Now, tomorrow you can be grateful for your friends, and it can go on, just as simply can walk into your closet and you have, choices of
mm-hmm,
clothing to wear. So
mm-hmm.
I love this because it can go on and on and on. For 60 days.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, so the first 30 days, if you think about it, if you do 3 things a day, that's 90 things that you put, right?
Okay. Right.
The next 30 days is different. So the next 30 days, you can just pick, you can repeat at this point, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
But
All
the
right.
next 30 days, the challenge is why. Because a lot of times we don't dive into why we're grateful. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So if I say I'm grateful for the sun, why do I say that? What is it about the sun
Right.
that makes me
Right.
be so grateful? And I know for me, I just love how the way the light comes out and how I could be driving sometimes, and if the sun hasn't hit this, you see how dark it is. But once
Right.
the sun hits it, how it lights up the world.
Wow.
That's fascinating to me. Just
Oh,
see that
wow.
God has created something.
Yes.
And when that light shines, how you can now see. I
Right.
love how the
Right.
sun gives light
Right.
because there's
Right.
things where they need the rain and the sun to grow.
Oh, listen
You know
at
what
you,
I'm saying?
girl. I
You know,
love it. I love it. And
so
go ahead. I want to
I'm
hear
just
more.
saying, I'm saying, so that's, so that's the second part. Because sometimes we don't go to that level. We realize we're grateful, but just teaching us to start getting the habit of, well, why am I grateful for the things that I have said I'm grateful for? And so I always tell them my prayer for this one is that if you do it, it's up to you. If you do it every day, I know one person, she's doing it. She says she loves it, but she don't necessarily do it every day. But she's working through the days. Does that make
Right.
sense? So she
Yes,
might not wrote in there
absolutely.
Monday and
Yeah.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
but she wrote in there Wednesday and
Right.
Friday and Saturday like that. But she wants to work through the book, and that's fine because it's yours.
Yeah.
But my prayer is when you're done, you're gonna have a book full of blessings. And
Oh.
so when life keep happening, because it's gonna keep lifing,
Oh, yeah. It's
you
going to
can be
manifest. It's going
reminded,
to manifest. Yes.
pull this out,
Manifestation. Yes.
and be reminded of just how blessed you
You are.
are. Even because when you read through, like I said, it might be a day where something happened and God brought you through. Well, if He brought you through on September the 21st, you don't think He can't bring you through on December the 28th? You get
Yes.
what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Right.
that's
Right.
my prayer for this, for
Yes.
anyone who chooses this. So those are my 3 journals that I've started. I know I'm gonna create some more,
Oh,
but
for
that's
sure.
part of my Inspire Her
Looking
collection.
forward.
And I plan to have cards too, a set of cards. It's called Inspire Her. So it's gonna be cards for women because research shows that women, when it comes to buying cards, we're the main ones who buy the cards over the
Mhm.
guys.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I
Well,
plan
I'm
to
gonna
have a
tell you something. My husband was good at that. He could go into the store and find
mm-hmm,
the perfect card
mm-hmm,
because he wasn't a one for a lot of words.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
he would find cards that would say the things that he really wanted to say.
mm-hmm,
But let me go back to something that you said was very interesting, because I did a podcast a few weeks ago that I talked about the why doesn't matter. But in
mm-hmm,
that particular case, the why was talking about during storms and how we have found ourselves in a situation. Now we don't want our focus on to be on why we're there. Our focus should be on now how we get out of this, going through this. But to
mm-hmm,
hear you say the why in a whole nother essence, I love it, because in
mm-hmm,
that particular why, you want to be more in tune to the gratefulness that God has blessed us with and the blessings, and just look at why you should be so grateful, why you should be so thankful to see the things around you. Because there are some things, and you know, you were talking about how the sun was just so amazing to you. If you look around, there are so much that we could not believe that could actually exist. You know, I mean, just the human body itself. You know, you have to know that God is an amazing, you know, being to
Yes.
have, you know, just made the human body and for it
Yes.
to have the ability to heal itself. Of course, we don't eat what we should and we don't do what we should to help, you know, make that happen. But on the, I'm sorry about that, but on the cusp of all of that, it's about the why you are grateful, and I love it. But
And just being, you know, because now I've grown to have the courage to share my story. So one of the reasons that I'm so big on gratitude now, more so than I have been in the past, is because in 2019 I had gotten into a deep depression that I contemplated living anymore. And so God brought me through that season. And so I had to make a vow and a commitment to myself to never allow the devil to try to penetrate my
oh,
mind the way that he did at that time. Because one thing the devil cannot stop is the blessings that God already has in store for us. So what he does is he can't stop the blessings. So where does he attack us?
in
In
the
our mind.
mind. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
everything begins and ends
In
there.
the mind, yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So if you start doubting yourself, if you start thinking you're not worthy, you're not deserving, then you're not going to even pursue any blessings. You're not
Anything.
going to
Your
pursue
hope is
no
gone.
dreams.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and so ever since then, that's what became a changing point for me. And that's why I'm so big on that. And so it wasn't an overnight thing. It's a practice thing. And the more you practice it, it also has allowed me to no longer react to life like I used to, being
Yeah.
an emotional
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
It allows me to pause and respond. And I've just learned to do that. I'm still human, so sometimes things happen. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
We're going to have those days.
yeah, I'm
But
like,
now you are grateful for life.
yeah, I can turn it around.
The whole outlook has changed.
Yeah. And in that moment, I could be like, okay, even though this happened, God, I still want to say thank you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But that's the benefit, I guess you can say, of practicing gratitude on a daily basis, because it can affect, you know, just your life as a whole and how you handle life.
And also too, it keeps you grounded because
Yes.
you know, like you say, it's a day-to-day process. And
Mm-hmm.
when you have something to help remind you that you know you should be grateful even if you don't feel it at the time,
Right.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of, like you said, encourages you to think about, you know, some things that you should be grateful for. And let me just say that I am so thankful to God that he has allowed you to come through that and
Mm-hmm.
to have made you stronger. And
Mm-hmm.
now you are a testament to so many people out there right now that will be listening to this podcast that
Mm-hmm.
may be thinking of ending their lives. And
Mm-hmm.
to know that there is a brighter day, you
Yes.
know, on the you know, you just gotta believe it because the Satan does attack your mind. I read a
Mm-hmm.
book by Joyce Myers, The
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield of the Mind, years ago. It changed
Uh-huh.
my life. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it changed the way I thought about life. It changed the way I
Right.
thought about everything because
Mm-hmm.
there's a constant battle between good and evil, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's there, you know,
Yep.
so you just have to know how to, you know, I guess basically look at what is important
Mm-hmm.
and try to find some sense of worthiness in the midst of all of it. Because, like you said, we often don't feel worthy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
of just being here.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I am grateful to have this moment with you, this time with you. I knew that, when I approached you about it, you had something to say. You kind of got me on it, on the others, but that makes it even greater because again, you now are able to, be able to speak to those that are really, 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 really hurting.
Right. And that's where I think my books or my journals spark from too, because it was through me coming back to God's word and really staying connected to his word, that also helps me as well. So that's what inspired me with the tag time along with God, because I
Yeah.
realized how important that was to spend that time with him, because his word let me know that I am
Yes.
valuable. I'm beautifully and
Yeah.
wonderfully made.
Yeah.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. But
That's my
God also
prayer
said,
every morning. Yes,
you
that's
know,
my
but
prayer.
he didn't say you was gonna have trials and tribulations. But what he
Right.
did say is that he will be with you through those tribulations. And even when we have sins, he has ways for us to get out of those situations so that we don't yield into temptation. So staying connected to his word helped me. Learning to build practicing gratitude. And then I know some stuff sounds cliche because we hear it all the time, but I'm a testament that this is real. When it says get rid of places, people, places, and things that no longer serve you, that's real. And I did that too. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Let me get rid of
Yeah, you have
anything that's
you do have to go through that
that
process of
negative
purging.
energy.
Yeah, you have to purge. Purge away those people that keep you like you say, in this lowness, this energy that makes you feel depressed.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be mindful of the people that are gathered in your circle. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you often uh, think about how you want people around you, but you gotta exercise relational intelligence, because if you don't, you're gonna find yourself in some situations and some storms that you can avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Just by simply just choosing people that are positive, choosing
Mm-hmm.
people that are supportive, that are encouraging, that are uplifting. And
Mm-hmm.
often we don't find that among women. We
Mm-hmm.
tend to not support us each other as we should. So
Mm-hmm.
I am so grateful that you are on here. Can you just give us a good takeaway? I've taken enough of your time, but I do want to do another podcast with you again,
Okay.
so that we can get a chance to really, really talk about some other things that you got going on. Because, guys, this lady here has a wealth of information, and we just
Yeah.
can't get it all in this few minutes.
Right, exactly. So I'm just gonna say, I was gonna say so y'all can see, just so you can see some of my work. I do have a website. It's currently under construction. I'm actually been working on it today because my goal is to have it up October the 1st, the updated one. So
Yes.
I'm just kind of saying, so these were all made by me.
Oh, wow. Those are awesome. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
these are all
that.
made by me. And I used to do
And what
um
are the prices? Can you kind of tell the
yeah.
people? Wow.
If you
And
buy
I
them
know it's
blank.
on Amazon. So,
Yeah, these are my website.
okay.
Uh Blank are $8. And then if you want it personalized, they're 10. And I have two types of customers. I have those one customers who are writers. So they can actually write what they want, but they ain't got time to be trying to put. So they're
Right.
like, I need a birthday card. This is what I want you to put in it. I do custom cards. So if you want a particular design or colors, I'll work around and put something together. Other, they say, hey, just do your magic. They just trust me. They give me my words. But my other customers are those who, like you said earlier, Dr. Clark, they know how they feel. They don't know how to articulate it. So
Right.
my background is English. So all I do is listen to you, take some notes, and then I can put the wording together for you. So that's how the personalization part works. And on my website is user friendly. And so, it's just a drop down. If you want blank, it's going to be this color. If you want personalized, I mean, not this color, price, you click that, and then there's a space in there for you to put your wording. Or other people, as I tell you, become a VIP, they start texting and calling you like, I need a card. And
Okay.
so I do ship directly to recipients as well. So that kind of saves you some time. So instead of you paying for the card to come to you, then you got to pay again to send it to someone. You
Right.
can also, there's also the option on my website,
You can send it
online or
directly
offline.
to the
Yeah, I
person.
can send it directly to your recipient. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, guys, you cannot beat this. I mean, you cannot beat this anywhere. She customizes for you. She sends them directly to your recipients, and she say exactly what you want to say, but didn't know how to say it. So great. All right,
Yep.
guys. Go
On
ahead
my
to
website,
Amazon.
you want me to live my website?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my website is HomemadeCreations LLC.com. So that's homemade, all one word, creations, all one word, LLC.com. So that's my website. Like I said, it should be up today, depending on when you see this podcast. It's like September the 21st, October the 1st. It should be up because right now, if you go there, it's going to say it's under reconstruction because I'm making some changes. So it'll be up back up October the 1st. So I'm excited. The holidays
Yes,
are
you
coming
should
up,
be.
Christmas.
You should be. We have Thanksgiving coming. We have Christmas coming. So you definitely got to get that website up and running.
Yeah. And the
Thank you
journals are
so much.
Amazon. Yeah, journals are Amazon. So you
Okay,
probably
journals are on Amazon, but
just
I'm
have to.
going to have this information on YouTube when I go ahead and put this up.
Mm-hmm,
Actually, upload this video. Thank you,
mm-hmm.
guys. This podcast again, exceptional talk with Dr. Clark. Thank you, Miss Wright, Sharon Wright.
Well, thank
Yes,
you once again, Dr. Clark, for once again inviting me on to be a guest. And I guess my closing remark is that if you have a dream, go for it.
yes,
Just go for it.
that's
Like
it.
it's old school.
Yes,
Anything you set
yes.
your mind to, guess what? God already created everything you need inside you in order to do it. So just go for it.
I don't need to say anything else after that. All right. Welcome to Exceptional Talk with Dr. Clark. See
Yeah.
you later. Bye.
See you all later.